Hi guys, it's Aaliyah. Welcome back to my channel. So, as promised, I am here to share another journal. Actually, the next two journals that I'm sharing, they were kind of like a little bit of a challenge for me. Not in the sense of making it, but I was challenging myself. I wanted to see, I went way back to the Traveler's Notebook size, and not that many pages. So, both of the notebooks, the journals that I made, all only have 9 pages. And I had to stick to that number because I was watching somebody else's video, Susie, over at Creative Cafe Girl, and I noticed that her last batch of journals, all of them only had 9 pages in them. And I thought to myself, what a fun challenge to see if I can also create a nice journal with only using 9 pages. And I did. I made 2 of them. So I made this one and I made another one, which I'll show in the next video. For this one, and I'll talk about the other one actually in the next video. So for this one, what I did is I used a paper pad that I got at Michael's. It was one of the Hot Buy paper pads. I don't have it anywhere close to me. Do I? I don't think so. I forget what it was called, but it's a very pink paper pad. So this is a very pink themed Traveler's Notebook insert. And I'm calling it a Traveler's Notebook insert because you can actually put this in what is it called? I guess the Traveler's Notebook, the cover, because it will fit. It's 8 1/4 by 4 1/4, and it is not very chunky, so it will definitely fit as an insert. But obviously, you can use that as a standalone journal. So I put a little a little pink ribbon, and I actually got this from my friend Alicia. It was tied around something else, and I can't remember what it was tied around, but I wanted something pink, and it's like a nice little crocheted lace, so I used it on this one. So this one I actually titled it Smile Often, and my shadow's back. When I first put this on, I thought I actually smudged something on there, but it's actually the paper. Let me show you. See, some of the paper is marbled like this. So this, and then all the other stuff that I cut off of, I realized it was, it's not dirty. That's what I thought it was at first. I'm like, seriously? How did it get dirty? It's marbled. So, Smile Often is the cover. I bound it with pink thread. And, you know, the back is just plain, but I love the colors in this. This is a very my journal because it's very pink. So inside cover, I made a little pocket, and this is Today is the Day. You know how on 12 by 12 paper pads they come with those like strips on a big sheet? Well, I think it was like Today is the Day, Smile Often. It was like in one line. So I cut down to Smile Often because I wanted it to be the name, and then I did this Today is the Day as just to decorate the inside cover. And then on the inside cover, what I did is I made all of my ephemera with the scraps left over from cutting down the pages because I didn't want to throw them away. So if they were big enough to make a tag, I used it. So we have a nice tag there. And then I did this. This is one of my vintage Rolodex cards. And I used an embossing folder to emboss it. And then here, this was also one of the little... I think it came maybe right here or right after, but when I cut it down, see, it's like a little rose, and I didn't want to throw it away. Oh, is that even in focus? So I added it as a decoration. Oh, I can see the shadows right here. All right, so then we have another page from the paper pad. And that's the back. And even though it's colored, it's perfect still for writing on. So I like some of the pages that I chose, you are still able to write on, which is good. Then we have this page here, and this was also part of the cutout strips. And I glued that on there. Here I made a little pocket with, and another different thing, I just reminded myself. I rounded all the corners. So the corners are rounded on the whole journal, which normally I don't do that, but this one I did, and the next one I did as well. So in this pocket here, This here is, or was, I think this was from the paper pad, and I cut it down and I embossed it. And then we have a nice vintage Rolodex card, and then another piece that I turned into a journaling card. Lost my words for a second. And now here we have another little decoration there, and this does fold out, so it says extra journaling in there, and then journaling on the back. A nice another paper, and this is also from my friend Alicia, and it's like a wallpaper. It's a little sampling of a wallpaper, but I liked that the colors, you know, so, and then you can journal on the back of that, which is fun. Here I've made another pocket, and then inside I did a big journaling card, so you can do lots of writing. And it would be also fun if you wanted to take this and add some washi to the top, and you could create your own flip. And it's almost as, it's pretty big, so you know what I mean? Like you could do this, flip it up, journal on the back there, like on the top side, and then journal all here. So that's an idea too. And then here's one of my sideways library cards. I rounded the edges on that. And then this is one of the extra pieces that I cut off, but it's perfect because you can write right there. So that goes in here. And then, well, aside from the 9 pages, I do have 2 small pages, and I have a paper bag. So, but that doesn't count with my 9 pages. So that's just a little, it was a music page. I think I actually got this from Alicia too. It was a small one. So here's another page here, and here's one of, not one of the bags. This is the bag. There's 2 pockets though, obviously the side and the other side. And it's just holding some little random bits that you can journal on. I like this. This is like written. This looks like a book. And here's the center. And you can really actually write on this if you wanted to, or you can use it for pictures. And then here's the other side of the bag. I put a little piece there to put these 2 smaller journaling cards in. And then these go there. And then in here, just another journaling card. And here's the other side of the little music sheet. Another piece of, or part of the strip. And on the back, I made some up. That made no sense at all. I made up some tags, like I cut them out, and then I ran it through my embossing, you know, I embossed it through my machine. This one is a really pretty pattern. Unfortunately, you can't see with the shadow. Actually, you know what? You might be able to see it a little bit better in the shadow. I can see it better. So, yeah, I was having fun with my machine. I had it out the other day, and I was just randomly embossing different pieces of papers, and just to see what it, kind of like experimenting with it. What would have been fun, really, is if I had turned the camera on, because it was fun just playing around with it. Here, this is the other side of the wallpaper piece, and I like it because it's textured, so you can actually sort of feel like, I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel like paper. And then here, this also flips out. And then on this, this is just a vintage index card that didn't have any lines on it. And then, of course, my sideways library card, and then a little other piece that I cut out there. And this too, you could even journal here if you wanted to. Though I'm not sure, like in my personal journals, pockets and stuff, even if there is writing space, I don't normally write on it. I like to leave the writing for the pages. I also, what I found too, sometimes, I'm a big Post-it note person. I write everything on Post-it notes, at home, at work, you know. Post-its are my life. So I've noticed, like, sometimes I'll write things on Post-its, and then I'll actually washi tape them into my journal. I mean, I could have easily just rewritten something on, but it almost gives it more like texture, like more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but sometimes in a journal, you know, obviously you can write and write and write, but when you use other things on the pages too, it gives it more depth. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me, I like to include things or like stick things in, tape things in, staple things in, aside from just writing. So I do stuff a lot in my journals. I stuff them in the pockets, but I also like putting them on the actual pages. That's one thing I definitely do like to do. Like for instance, like if I had something that I cut out of the paper or magazine, or you know, I had something, I would probably glue it down onto a page, something like that. I don't know, but I like doing things like that. So maybe it's just me. So plenty of space to write, and then here is the back cover, and there's the back. So I think to challenge myself to do this, I really liked it. And what I noticed when I first started doing junk journals, this is all I did. It was this size, and you know, I think it was like 15-page max that I would do, because I wasn't there yet, you know, doing anything bigger. Plus I wasn't doing digital kits when I first started. So you know, I was only using what I had, and in the beginning, obviously, you don't have a lot. So I don't know, when I first started, I wasn't even like an estate sale person yet. I hadn't gone. So most of my stuff came from Michael's, and I think it was all coffee dyed paper and like paper from paper pads. And then I think, you know what? Actually, funny story. My boss went away, and oh, she was on vacation. And normally I was that employee that just did her job and then went home. Did her job, went home. Like I was very routine and very always focused. And that vacation, I decided that I wanted to go on to Etsy on my computer and order something. And that was the first time that I actually didn't work the whole day. I took a little schedule or a little block out of my day, went on to Etsy, and I made my first, I think, 3 orders. Never ordered it from Etsy before that, but I did. And one of the things that I did order were like book pages, like the vintage book pages, to start incorporate them into my projects. And everybody at work was like blown away. They're like, oh my gosh, this is what it looks like when you're relaxing. And I'm like, so now it's a big joke. So but yeah, so that's what I did when I first started. I only used what I had, which wasn't a lot, until I started ordering stuff online. So I wanted to go back and just do some, because a lot of people back then were doing the actual traveler's notebooks where they have to get the inserts and put them in the covers and stuff. So I did sell a lot of this style, which was a little bit less embellished, a little less pages, but it had to be the size to fit into the cover. So I went back a little. I did get a lot of inspiration though from Susie. You know, I'm glad I did, because every once in a while you kind of need to take like a little step back and go back to where you started, you know, and just have some fun. So I definitely did have fun with this, and then the one I'll show you in my next video. So sorry for talking your ear off. I just sometimes get on a little tangent and I go all the way off the side of the road, I think. But this is available in my Etsy if you are interested. I'll leave the information below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.